Awesome. We are also now live on YouTube. So in case anyone gets logged out of here and can't enter, you can watch it on YouTube.
Lovely seeing, hey everyone, lovely seeing all these locations: Lagos, Melbourne, Johannesburg, Nigeria. Love that. Thank you so much for being active on the chat. Oh, we've got someone from Scotland as well. Welcome.
Yeah, we've got people from all around. Let's get started, everybody. Thank you for waiting. And I'm just going to let some more people in. And record the presentation. Awesome. Welcome once again, everyone, to this event with Entry Level partnering with Hex. Today, I'm going to kickstart with just a little bit of intro about Entry Level first. Entry Level, for those of you who don't know, offers learning experiences and courses on a variety of subjects such as product management, financial analyst, UX design, growth marketing, and VC analyst, along a few others. What's great about studying with Entry Level is that, well, if you finish the course, you can get a refund. So once you finish the 6-week program, you can ask for a refund. So practically, you can learn for free. It's also beginner friendly. So all the programs are designed for people who are maybe transitioning into a new career or transitioning from a job they don't like or getting started in a new field completely altogether. So check out all the programs that are listed here. We're going to be talking more about that as we get started and towards the end of the program, towards the end of this event as well. The thing about learning technical skills is that sometimes they don't prepare you for getting started with managing your soft skills, which is why we have put together this event today with our friends at Hex, and we'll learn more about what they do just in a few moments. So yeah, you can learn all the hard skills that you have. You might be a great coder, or you might be great at running the numbers in Excel, but it's really essential in today's workplace to actually build up soft skills that can help you grow in your career really fast or find a new job if that's what you're after. So that's what we'll be talking about today. Now, we've already covered this in the chat, so thank you for everyone who is engaged with us. But those who haven't and those who just joined right now, please share with us where you're joining from. We'd love to know where everyone else is coming from. We have some more people joining in from the waiting room in the next few minutes, so keep those messages coming. Now, for the agenda for today, I'm just going to go through a couple of housekeeping rules, and then we'll hand it over to Ashwin, who will be running the session and talking to us more about how to build your soft skills. Then we'll have a Q&A, some questions that were already sent in by the people who are attending here. And if you have any questions, you can ask those questions there as well. And we'll end up with some closing remarks. Wonderful. A couple of rules before we start, or rules, not really rules, just some housekeeping comments, is to be respectful in the chat. Don't spam the chat or say anything disrespectful to anyone, so we can maintain some decorum there. And also, of course, you can use the chat that we're already using to ask any questions, leave any comments or feedback if you have for the event. And if you can, I would highly encourage you all to turn on the camera, because this is an interactive event and we'd love to see your faces as well. Which brings me to the next point on interactions. Ashwin will be asking you to raise your hands sometime during the event. You can do that by clicking on the, I think the participants, just trying to see, Shay has raised her hands and Ashwin has done the same as well. So Ashwin will be asking you to do that throughout the event. So make sure you know how to do that in your Zoom app, whether you're using your phone or join through your laptop or your computer. We will be at the same time asking you to join the chat as well. And the goal and the reason behind all of this is that these events are a lot more fun when we interact with each other and ask questions and use these little features to communicate when we can't use audio or we can't, like, it makes it much more fun and encouraging for others to jump in as well. So even if it's out of your comfort zone to turn on your video or type in the chat, we try and recommend you to jump in and engage with all of us. So that's it for the little bit of introduction from my end. Now let me introduce you to Ashwin and hand it over to Ashwin as well. Hi, Ashwin. I would love for us to start with a little bit of introduction about yourself, and then I can stop my slides and you can take over the workshop.
Sure thing. Thank you so much, Ayush, for this warm welcome. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining this, no matter where you're from, India, Australia, Nigeria, South Africa, no matter where you're from. Thank you so much for joining this. I'm sure you'll have a great time here. So my name's Ashwin, and I work at HEX as sales ops and student support. So this means I support our learners before, during, and after our programs. So if you decide to join us, so I will be the one supporting you before our programs, during our programs, and after our programs. But that's not all. I am an entrepreneur, so I have my own side hustle where I teach people how to do personal branding via their LinkedIns. I started writing a book. I haven't completed it yet, so maybe I'll become an author in the near future. I am a community ambassador for an organization here in Melbourne, and I'm a diversity advocate. So I advocated at my university to increase diversity in various staff positions, and I successfully advocated them to do that. So that's a bit about me. I am from India, so it's about 4 p.m. where I am, but yeah, just a good afternoon, good morning, good evening to all of you. And thank you so much for being here.
So thanks for the great introduction, Ashwin. I'm joining from India as well to add on to that. So yes, 4 p.m. for me as well. Awesome. We're very excited to learn from you and more about soft skills. So over to you.
Perfect. I'll get my screen up and running. Ayush, can you confirm that you see my slides?
Yes, can see it.
Perfect. Okay. So welcome to Maximizing Your Potential, a soft skill workshop for career growth. So like I said, my name is Ashwin, and I am the sales ops and student support at HEX. My spirit emoji is this upside down face, just because, you know, it's cool. It's funny. It's a bit of passive aggressive. It conveys a lot of emotions with just one emoji. So, you know, why speak many words when one emoji can do the trick? Like I mentioned, I'm a diversity advocate, a community ambassador, and I help people do personal branding via LinkedIn. So I want you to become a rock star on LinkedIn. Okay, so a bit about HEX. So if you've never heard of HEX before, we are an organization based out of Melbourne, Australia, and we are empowering the next generation of leaders, that's you, we are empowering you to raise the exponential intelligence of the global workforce. So what this means is employers and the workforce, the skills keep changing, the bar keeps going high, but the education system all around the world does not keep pace with that. I have seen this firsthand. A lot of CEOs, a lot of managers, a lot of recruiters want talent that has actually kept up with, you know, the changes in the world, but they just haven't been able to learn that because schools and colleges, they just cannot keep up with that. That is where we come in. We want to upskill you. We want to give you skills and tools and tips to actually become part of a diverse and innovative workforce. Okay, so here's the agenda for today. I'll be going through our 5 top skills that are vital for success in any profession, no matter where you're from, no matter what industry you want to get into. Top 5 soft skills that are vital for success. How to acquire those skills, because it won't be fair if I just talk about those skills. I also should tell you how to actually acquire those skills, and of course, the importance of community and mentorship. So until a few years ago, hard skills or tech skills were valued more than soft skills. But the pandemic brought on a big change. You know, everyone started working online. Everyone had a lot of time on their hands. Remember the first few weeks of lockdowns back in March 2020 or Feb 2020? we all thought it was probably, you know, just a 15-day vacation. We thought it was going to be over soon. No one thought, you know, COVID would last for 2 years. We thought, you know, it's just, you know, whatever. A lot of us had free time on our hands, and we learned tech tools and we learned hard skills online. You know, there was Coursera, there's entry level, there were a bunch of other, you know, companies that gave tech tools online, and you didn't have to do much. You know, you could be, you were sitting in the comfort of your home and you were picking up new skills. But then you were not alone. Millions of other people were doing the same thing. So when jobs opened, when people were looking for, when companies were looking for remote employees, everyone was almost on the same wavelength. Now, according to KPMG's Global CEO Report in 2023, 77% of CEOs, that's almost everyone, 77% of CEOs said that talent acquisition and upskilling was the #1 concern in 2023. And this is what we want to solve. This is what we want to help you with. Okay, before I get to do that, let's see who we have in the room today. So raise your hand if you are a graduate. This means you've completed a bachelor's degree or equivalent. Raise your hand if you're a graduate. Got Bashayar, John Paul, Samuel. Okay, love seeing that. Raise your hand if you are early career, or if you're looking for your first job, or if you've just landed your first ever job. Okay, again, a few hands. Thank you. Okay, now raise your hand if you are transitioning. So this means, you know, you want to move jobs, you're looking for a new job, you want to get promoted, but you don't know how, you want to move industries. Let's say you were doing marketing, but now you want to go into IT. If you're transitioning in your career, please raise your hands. Okay, a few more raised hands. Lovely, thank you so much. So we've got a great mix in the room. And look, if none of these apply to you, please still raise your hands, because it'll be great practice. I will ask you to raise your hands a few more times before the end of this presentation. So thank you so much for this. Just goes to show that we have a diverse audience in the room today. Okay, now, what is a soft skill to you? Before I actually, you know, talk about soft skills and my top 5 soft skills, what is a soft skill to you? Put it in the chat, and I will read some responses. And to kick us off, I'll ask Ayush what soft skills mean to him. Ayush, what does a soft skill mean to you?
Oh, you want me to speak it out?
Yeah, go for it.
That's a good question. Soft skills mean, well, everything that I do in my job to communicate and collaborate with my team members, and includes, I think for me, that like the big portion of soft skills is emotional intelligence, and yeah, so collaboration, communication, and managing my emotions while working with my teammates.
Perfect. So here are just some keywords that Ayush mentioned: collaboration, management, communication, and these are really, really important soft skills. Okay, and here are some definitions that you mentioned on the chat. Human-centric skill. Yep, it is a human-centric skill. Shay says soft skill is a skill that you were born with, not technical. Kind of true. So a soft skill is not a technical skill, but you necessarily weren't born with. And even if you were, you can either lose it or you can upskill in them. You can even pick up new soft skills. Any non-technical skills? Soft skill has to do with social and interactions. Yes, but it also is a bit more than just interactions and socializing, but we'll cover that just in a minute. Okay, before I do that, let's have a closer look at why and how you can leverage soft skills to actually future-proof your career. So you can actually provide yourself with career longevity. So this means that, you know, you are able to reinvent yourself in different environments and acquire the necessary skills, knowledge, and mindset required to actually ensure that, you know, you're not affected by layoffs, you're not affected by changes in the industry, you're not affected by changes in the market. Soft skills are highly transferable. So technical skills constantly change. Today, let's say you're using Canva. Tomorrow you'll use Microsoft PowerPoint. Day after tomorrow you'll use, you know, Apple Slides or something. So technical skills will change, and they constantly do change with, you know, constant innovations, but soft skills remain with you all throughout your life. No one can take away communication from you, management, leadership, collaboration. No one can take these soft skills away from you. They will stay with you all through your life. And soft skills, most importantly, are essential for remote work. because remote positions are still in high demand. The talent pool is increasingly crowded. If, let's say, if the only requirement that I had for a position was fluent in Canva, I would get millions of applicants who are fluent in Canva. But the thing is, soft skills are what actually set you apart from the crowd. That is what gives you a competitive edge, and you can really land a job that you want if you highlight your soft skills properly. Okay, so now what are those soft skills? We asked our network and community, and they gave us the top 5 skills that they think will give you success no matter what profession, no matter what industry, no matter what market you're going into. So those 5 are learnability. So success is less about, what you already know. It's more about adapting your skills to an ever-changing world. And, we don't have to, you don't need to go too far back in history to actually think of that. But if you think of the last 3 years, so COVID started in 2019, 2020. In the last 2.5, 3 years, the world has changed quite a lot. I don't think, 3 years ago, I would have ever thought of telehealth. I never thought I would be able to do video calls with my doctor where he would, try to diagnose me and prescribe me medicines, but that's something that we do today. I never thought I would work for a company based in Australia while sitting in Kolkata, India, and with some of my coworkers in the United States. It's become a global world, and we are not constrained by borders anymore. Empathy. So empathy is basically how you communicate genuinely and authentically with others. And that is very vital, especially in a workplace, because if you don't have open, honest, genuine communication, things will fall down, things will break. Agility and adaptability. So that's basically, let's say you only know Microsoft PowerPoint, but today everyone uses Canva. Yesterday's solutions will not solve tomorrow's problems. So that's why we need to keep up. That's why you need to be agile. That's why you need to adapt quickly. Leadership. So leadership is really important, because if you can coach, empower, or motivate others around you, not only will that help them, go up in their careers, it will also help you, because when we help each other, we all rise together. And collaboration. So that's basically the ability to work effectively as part of a team, and that has grown 100-fold in these remote times. Let's say you were in a physical office, collaboration sort of naturally happened because you were in the same physical space. But now that everyone's behind a laptop screen, your collaboration skills need to be really on point to actually get the work done, to actually talk to your coworkers, to actually get a project done before deadlines. Okay, so now let's break these 5 skills down into 2 categories. So one is having eyes on the future, and the second is creating authenticity. So if you have eyes on the future, it basically means you're 3 steps ahead, because that's where the world needs you to be. You're not catching up. You're actually ahead of the world. You're ahead of the industry. You're ahead of what employers want. And creating authenticity, you are good people doing good things. So why not communicate, and why not communicate that to the world, and why not connect the world together while you're doing that? Why work in a silo? Why just do it on your own, and why not help others? Okay, so now in short, these 5 skills that I mentioned, that's what's separating you at your current state from reaching the next level. It gives you this X factor. We've all heard of this X factor, or at Hex, we like to call it the Hex factor. So just a little pun. And before we go ahead, please raise your hands if you're ready to actually move from this level to this level in your careers, in your lives. Okay, I see a few raised hands. I'm not sure if there were hands raised from before or right now, but well, we do have some hands on the chat. So thank you, Igura, Fred, Shay. Thank you so much for raising your hands and for just hyping up the chat. Okay. Now the main thing with soft skills is a genuine and a very normal question to ask is that something that I can really learn? Because when I ask you what a soft skill means to you, some of you said that a soft skill is basically what you were born with. I disagree. So I wasn't born with communication skills. I wasn't born with leadership skills. I wasn't born with, collaborative skills. None of us are born with that. And this is something that you sort of hone. This is something that you work towards all throughout your life. Maybe not even actively. All of this happens subconsciously, but I want to tell you that soft skills are something that you can really learn. It doesn't have, you don't have to think, oh, I'm not a good communicator and I cannot do anything about it. You 100% can do something about it. Okay. So how do you learn soft skills? You mainly learn through your experience, your environment, or other people around you. So those people around you, that could be university, could be your friends, could be your workplace, could be your family, could be just random people on the street. But this is how 90% of the world learns the soft skills. We want you to be in the remaining 10%, because if you're in the 90% that learns through their environment or learns through friends and family, it will take you years to actually go to learn a soft skill, to actually develop soft skills. And look, this is why entry level is perfect, because entry level gives you these tech skills and these other skills that you would otherwise spend a lot of time at uni. You would waste a lot of time at uni learning those. So with entry level, within 6 weeks, if I'm not wrong, Ayush, within 6 weeks, you basically gain realized skills that you can use in the workplace right away. And I want to tell you that, entry level's got the tech skills down and the hard skills down. I want to tell you that with Hex, we've got the soft skills down. Now, mentorship and networking. According to a recent report from ABC News, so one of the premier Australian news organizations, 80% of today's jobs are landed through networking. So it doesn't matter how good your application is, doesn't matter how good your resume is, doesn't matter how good your cover letter is, networking actually gets you through the door. And networking doesn't exist on its own. I believe networking and mentorship go hand in hand, which is what I'll talk about a little bit now. So imagine, what if you could learn from these people, people from Google, from Microsoft, from Zendesk, from Figma, from Stripe, which is a huge payment gateway. You'll be able to pick their brains within weeks and understand how these legends work. I mean, that's literally collaboration soft skill right there. And imagine being able to tag these amazing industry legends and, CEOs and product managers and executives on your LinkedIn posts. Let's say you learn something today at a course. What if you go onto LinkedIn and say, hey, I learned something from this person at Google who actually taught me X thing. That is so cool. Okay, so now type yes in the chat if you want to know more about how to get access to these industry leaders. Let me see a bunch of yeses in the chat right now. Samuel, Faith, Effemina, Divine, Ayush, yes. Go for it. Love that. Thank you so much. Loving this energy. But before I tell you about that, here is just a bit of summary as to how you can get prepared for a future-ready workforce. So you've got to, learn continuously, invest in the ongoing knowledge and skills for our ever-changing world. Sorry. So that's basically entry-level Hex or other online course providers. You have to invest in yourself on a constant basis if you want to keep pace. If you want to keep, if you want to keep pace with our ever-changing world. Mentorship from diverse leaders. I believe mentorship is the biggest gift ever, because with the advice and guidance of a mentor, you can grow and you can succeed and you can go to the next level. Connecting with global mentors from other cultures, other countries, speaking the other languages, other races, it will broaden your perspective. If you just stay within your own group, that will keep a perspective narrow. You want to broaden your perspective for an ever-changing world. And just saying yes to new opportunities. I think saying no and being afraid of things is the biggest obstacle to your career. If you don't know something, still say yes, because you can learn. There is an ability to learn. But if you say no, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Most of you have heard of that before. So you should always say yes to new opportunities, because that's how you learn. And that's how you'll get ready for a future-ready workforce. Sorry. And this is what we do at Hex. We help you unleash your potential. Like I said before, Hex sits at the gap between, Hex is filling a gap where schools and colleges all around the world, they're not able to keep up with the quick changes in the actual world, in the real life. But employers want this, the industry wants this, the market wants this. This is where Hex comes in. through our digital courses and thought leadership, we want you to explore innovative pathways. We want you to mold your own future. We want you to live life by your rules, not by society's rules, not by rules imposed on you by others, but by rules that you've set and created for yourself. Okay, so now let's talk about special things. So we've got a special offer today only for entry level. So now that you're here, you get a special offer. You can save up to 290 Australian dollars. Oof, that's huge. I mean, if I talk about that in Indian terms, that's about 16,000 rupees. And, I mean, convert that into your own local currencies if you will, but you can save up to 290 Australian dollars just by being here and just by taking action after the next few slides. Type yes in the chat if you want to know more. Let me see some yeses. Samuel, Efemina, Aromai, Sharif, Charles, yes, 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 thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to do a bit of a bait and switch. So I will tell you about this offer just a bit later. So hold on tight. So now Hex. Hex is actually trusted by organizations all around the world. So these logos that we've got here, we haven't just, put them willy-nilly. We actually partner with them. We actually work with them. And if you join a Hex course, this is actually who you'll be learning with. This is actually who you'll get to collaborate with. Atlassian, Deloitte, Draper, Google, ANZ, which is a big Australian bank, Global Victoria, again, Victorian States, Foreign Department, Zendesk, the Australian government, Microsoft, you've heard of these companies. You can actually now learn from them. You can actually collaborate and partner with them. And that's not it. We are also, we've got a bunch of industry, school, and government mentors who actually fund us, who mentor with us, and who actually give their time, energy, and expertise to us and to our learners, which could be you. So who are we? So I've already covered that a bunch, but just to throw some numbers at you, we have a community of more than 10,000 people, and we've got 8,000 plus alumni all around the world. It's not just in Australia, not just in India, all around the world, US, UK, France, Poland, South Africa, India, New Zealand, Australia, you name it, and we have an alumni in that place, or maybe a mentor or an industry legend. We've got more than 50 plus partners, and through our programs, we've created more than 1,000 plus founders. This means Hex has been sort of responsible for or has accelerated 1,000 plus, startups. So to do this, we've basically created Hex Ed. So this is like a capsule degree that equips every knowledge worker that's you with the mindsets, skill sets, and tool sets you need for the future. And how we do that? We do that through these 5 units: innovation, money, tech, future, and you. Thanks to entry level, you've already got the tech skills down. So we won't be talking about that. I am here to talk to you about future and you. Because, we categorize those 5 skills into 2 categories. One was eyes on the future and one was creating authenticity. This is what I'll be talking to you about today. So this is what Hex Ed is like. These are just screen grabs. So we've got, workshops. These are all, screen video recordings of workshops. This is our website where, you get to sign up. This is just a chill session. So Hex Ed has chill sessions and vibe sessions where, it's basically a social session for you to come in, have a chat with the Hex team, have a chat with other people who are doing the same course as you, learn from each other, maybe de-stress after a long day. This is a Slack channel. So, you get a lot of value out of this. And of course, the vibes are immaculate. We want you to have fun. It's not a serious, boring course. We want you to have fun, and we are there with you every step of the way. And these are just some of our alumni. And you will actually get to meet a lot of these people, either in person or online, depending on how things pan out. But you will get to meet a lot of these people. So for example, Sarah here, she's one of our alumni who did our program, I think, 2.5 years ago. When she came to us, when she started the program, she had no idea what she wanted to do. I mean, she knew what she was passionate about, but how to actually convert a passion into a career or into a job, she didn't know that. So, through our program, we helped her, and now she works at Atlassian as a product designer. She's been a speaker at Adobe conferences. She's worked for Google. in UI UX. She's she is a leading voice in the AR VR industry as well. So Sarah is a powerhouse, and she attributes a lot of that to Hex. Annette, she's actually making drone controllers. So you've got drones, but she's actually making better drone controllers for the US Department of Defense. So that's huge. Shoaib, he is also one of our alumni. He did the program, I think, 2 years ago. He has co-founded Esper Satellite Imagery, which is basically a space tech firm. And last year, he raised $150 million in pre-revenue, $150 million. Again, Shoaib was, again, one of our alumni who didn't really know what to do, but he joined a program. We helped him through his ideation stage, helped him through creating his startup. And now last year, $150 million. I mean, if that's not a success story, I don't know what is. Okay, and all of these people, there's one thing that's common in them. They all stepped outside of the comfort zone. When they joined, they stepped out of the comfort zone. They developed leadership skills. They developed the social capital. I like to believe that your network is your net worth, which is why networking is really important. They all got coaching and mentoring from our team, from our industry partners, from university partners. They got a bunch of coaching and mentoring. And the thing is, they all had a growth mindset, because there are basically two kinds of mindsets. If you don't have a growth mindset, you're sort of limited in your own beliefs. Your mind is basically limiting you into what you can do or cannot do. Thankfully, they all had a growth mindset, which is why they've all gone on to do huge, amazing things. And we want you to do the same as well. Okay. You can be job ready in less than 8 weeks. Our courses are between 4 to 8 weeks long. So you learn at your own pace, or you can learn a cohort for, learning in a group. And the cohort learning courses are actually university accredited. So you could also get university credit for this. So if I wanted to take an example, university in Australia, so a bachelor's degree for one subject, it costs about $4,000 to $5,000. Hex is way cheaper than that. Hex is almost 1/10 of that cost. So for 1/10 of the cost, in 8 weeks, you're job ready, you get essential skills. You could also get university accreditation. So if you do decide to study in Australia or anywhere around in the world where they do credit transfers, you can save a whole lot of money, and of course time. But okay, that's why, believe me, Hex has been featured in the media. Just see for yourself. This is our CEO, Jeanette. She's been featured a bunch of places. Hex has been featured in the media quite a lot. Our courses have been recognized all around the world, not just Australia, not just India, not just one country, all around the world. Okay, so finally, let's talk about these two units and what you learn. So the future unit and the U unit. So if you do the U unit, you will learn a bunch of these things, and with the future unit, you learn all of this. Now, I won't go through all of them, but I'll just go through the ones in bold. So with the U unit, you will get to know how to build a professional portfolio. No matter what industry you're in, no matter what job you're looking for, you will know how to build a professional portfolio. Leadership in the workplace. You could just be an entry-level person, but doesn't matter. Everyone needs to have certain leadership capabilities, and how to actually do flexible work in a remote environment, because this is the new normal. I am working remotely. A lot of my colleagues work remotely. A lot of people don't go into the office every day. So this skill is really, really important in today's day and age. And the future unit. So how do you identify as the future leader, influencing the future, and developing a trends-based vision? So these are not just, so this is, and all of this, so the future unit will go through, the future unit actually works towards the learning, agility, and adaptability soft skill. And the U unit actually works towards the empathy, collaboration, and leadership soft skill. And look, this isn't even half of what you learn. I just ran out of space on the slides. I had no more space. If I wanted to list down every single thing that you learn, I would probably end up taking 5 or 6 slides. These courses are power-packed. These courses are packed with things that you need to learn, but no school or college or university is there to teach you that. Okay, so here's the offer. So if you sign up today for Hexcel Go U unit, where you'll explore personal values, unleash your leadership style, develop public speaking skills, learn about team formation, network building, career mapping, all of that jazz, you get $90 off. So you only pay $200 Australian dollars if you sign up via entry level. So this is your perk for being a part of the entry level community. Oh, by the way, yeah. So just keep those yeses coming, because if you don't, I will not let you. I will not give you the bigger discount. So this is just the $90 discount. You will get a bigger discount if you keep typing yes on the chat. Let those yeses, keep those yeses coming in. Peter, Divine, Diana, Ephemera, Ruthie. Thank you. Okay, so let's unveil the bigger discount, because look, I love discounts. I'm a sucker for discounts. I will go for anything that has a huge discount. I mean, my bank balance doesn't agree with me, but hey, retail therapy. So if you want to earn university credits, if you want one-on-one mentoring, if you want to join our exclusive Slack channel, if you want to become part of a community that is always ready to help you, you can either join the Pro U units or the Pro Future units. These are 8-week long, and you get $290 off. This means that you only pay 500 Australian dollars. And I believe Shay will drop the link in the chat in just a minute while I have some water. Shay, can I get the link? Okay, while Shay adds the link, I'll go on. So by joining HexEd, you or the future, you earn high demand skills that employers want. You get an answer to just about every possible job interview question. You know, if you Google top job interview questions for marketing, for software engineering, for whatever job you want to go into, you'll see a bunch of questions. Some of those won't give you thank you, Shay. Some of those won't give you answers, but by joining HexEd, you get an answer to every possible job interview question. You get a rocking professional portfolio, and I can guarantee you that that professional portfolio will be rocking. Once people see that, they will be in awe. They will fall in love with you and your work. And like I mentioned before, there is an option to get a whole subject's worth of credit from your university. So again, this is something that we'll chat about later. You can email us about this as well. But at 1/10 of the cost, so at $500 is HexEd Pro. That's $500. Universities in Australia cost about $4,000 to $5,000. So basically 1/10 of the cost. Even universities in India, they can be pretty expensive. $500 is literally a steal. And of course, it is usually $790, but because you're from entry level, you get a $290 discount. And of course, you get a network that will have your back as you grow. I did a Hex program 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago during the lockdowns. It was online. I did a Hex program. I'm still connected to a lot of those people that I met 3 years ago. One of them is my best friend now. And I kept in touch with the team. I kept in touch with a lot of people. And actually, this community has helped me in lots of ways. I actually kept in touch with other members of the Hex team. And that was one reason why I actually got this job here today. So if I hadn't kept in touch with those people, if I hadn't worked on my soft skills, if I hadn't networked with people, I probably would not be at this job. Okay, so if you're ready to shape the future, we are here to show you. Just raise your hand, type yes in the chat, and I will now start taking questions. So if you've got any questions, put them in the chat. Meanwhile, Ayush has prepared some questions. I believe, Ayush, they were emailed to you by some members of the community. So, we can go through these questions while, if you have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat below. Ayush, do we want to do this as a Q&A, or do you want me to just go through all of them?
Q&A would be nice.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, so everyone who's listening, if you do have questions relating to your personal situations, I do recommend typing it in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer those. So make the most of this opportunity to ask any questions that you have. But these are questions that students have asked before regarding soft skills. So I guess my first example, which like soft skills sounds great, but would be nice to have some real life examples of how developing soft skills can actually help someone succeed in their professional journey. What would you say about that, Ashwin?
Okay, so I'll take university as an example. So let's say you're at a school or university No, depending on the course you're doing, you could be in a class of 50 people or 500 people. So these are people learning the same thing, learning the same technical skills, learning the same knowledge as you, and they're all going towards the same sort of job market of the job industry. How do you actually put yourself apart? Not everyone's a great communicator, not everyone's a good leader, not everyone's a good collaborator. Soft skills actually put you apart from the rest. And real life examples are our alumni, are real life examples. Shoaib, Sarah, Annette, these people, they worked on the soft skills. They upskilled their existing skills, and they are doing, they are at the top of their careers today. I upskilled, I developed new soft skills. I wasn't a good communicator. I wasn't a great team worker a few years ago, but I have been working on these skills for some time now. And I am, today is my actually 500th day at Hex 500. So, I mean, you've got a real life example right here.
Awesome. That's amazing. And actually that also brings a point to my mind that like when a manager is maybe interviewing candidates for a job, there's a limit to the technical skills as well. Maybe your technical skills are same as 6 other candidates, but what can set you apart then is your soft skills and how you show them in your interviews. And that's how many people actually take decisions, and who would fit the culture, who would fit the who has good communication skills, rather than who can design better or who can code better.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And what are some tips that you might have to develop these skills in a remote work environment, a remote learning environment as well?
I would say, one, of course, just say yes to everything and keep investing in yourself. And look, this doesn't have to mean doing courses online. It could just be, as simple as listening to a podcast while you're commuting somewhere, or while you're walking around where you live. It could be listening to a podcast, some YouTube videos. It could be reading a book. The idea is basically just keep investing in yourself and actually seek out soft skills that you need to work on, and soft skills that are desirable in your job or in your industry. And that's just a simple Google search away. If you look for soft skills required for designers, soft skills required for software engineers, soft skills required in Google, let's say, you will find those, and you can just work on them really easily through online courses, and on podcasts, YouTube, books, whatever.
Amazing. That's a great tip. Someone has a question, which I think we have further on as well, but I'm going to go to that. FMN asked, is it possible to showcase your soft skills before interview? Especially, like, I guess FMN means that when we're applying for jobs, interviews, we can actually show what we know and how we communicate. But how do we do that through other means before actually applying for a job?
Okay, that's a good question. So it's not that difficult putting forward your soft skills in let's say a CV or a resume. And what you can do is, dedicate a part of your resume to skills, and that doesn't have to be just tech skills. So you can actually differentiate them. So you can say hard skills or tech skills. So that can be, let's say, Photoshop, Canva, Microsoft Excel, whatever, all of those skills. And then you can have a section for soft skills that actually talks about leadership, communication, collaboration, all of that. What I use on my resumes is actually I use 5 dots, 5 circles. So next to leadership, I'll have 5 circles, and I'll fill in 4 of those circles. So basically, I want to show that it's 4 on 5. I'm giving myself a 4 on 5 on leadership. I'll give myself a 5 on 5 on communication. Maybe I'll give something 3 on 5. So that basically tells an employer or a recruiter that I am grading myself on these skills that I have. Also provide examples in the job, in the job. If you have already some job experience, provide some examples. And, to a seasoned recruiter, to a seasoned employer, your skill section, your experience section will show what skills you're trying to highlight. But if not, just having those numbers or having those, that's just rating yourself on your soft skills is a great way to actually put them forward. And of course, you might be asked them during the interview, which is when, this question is already on the slides, but how do you showcase your soft skills on a job interview? You can do that by providing examples. Doesn't have to be work, can be volunteering, can be just in your personal life. So provide examples, and that's the best way to actually showcase your soft skills.
That's a great point. And I think to add on to that, when like using your portfolio to showcase your soft skills in strategic ways can also really help, which I saw that, like, I mean, through the HEX program, the students get to create a professional portfolio, and like through entry-level programs as well, we ask students to create a portfolio of tasks they do. But even if maybe someone has a personal website and maybe they have a blog, or they like to create videos, they can talk about experiences they've had, or they can talk about problems that they encountered and how they worked through it. And that shows the recruiter that this person is great at communicating because they've written down, but it also shows your mindset and your maturity and how you tackled a specific situation. And that gives a lot of insight into a person's soft skills. And many recruiters might reach out to you directly, or like, because all the recruiters, like, for a specific, like, depends on roles, but they do check out if applicant has a body of work, and if through that body of work you can show your parts of your personality, this can really help.
Yep.
Awesome. Should we move on to the next slide?
Yep.
Awesome. And again, just a reminder, we'll wrap up shortly, everyone. So last call for questions. Otherwise, we'll continue with the questions that we already have. I think we already covered the first question.
Yeah, we did.
So I think, yeah, the important one is also leadership. Is how can we actually develop leadership skills when we don't have a formal leadership role, or we are a sole contributor in our current job? How can we do that?
I would say, don't think of leadership as just in your job or in your workforce. Leadership is a wide, it's a wide umbrella topic. Leadership, you can hone your leadership skills in your personal life. So let's say you help a friend on a project. That is leadership. Let's say you volunteer to clean, you volunteer to clean your neighborhood every weekend, and you basically work with a group of 10-20 people and you basically head them, or it can even just be a group of 5 people. That is leadership. I think the best way to actually develop your leadership skills is through volunteering, and actually just going out there, putting yourself out there in unfamiliar territories, in unfamiliar environments. I don't mean physical, not really physically, but just going out of your comfort zone. Because once you do that, not only will you develop a whole range of soft skills, you will develop leadership skills. Because leadership is not just, hey, you need to do X, you need to do Y. It's not commanding others. It's also empowering others to be their best. It's motivating others to be their best. And you don't have to be at the topmost level of your company to do that. Let's say you're just an entry-level person, you've just got a job. If you are empowering others, if you're helping others, if you are motivating others to be their best versions, congrats, you are developing your leadership skills. You don't have to be the CEO, have leadership skills.
Awesome. Thank you for the great tips again. Last second question would be, conflict resolution comes like conflicts happen everywhere. And I guess when even in interviews, a lot of recruiters ask how an applicant solved a problem or came out of a conflict. So what when a conflict actually happens, what are some effective ways to deal with that, or how to develop our skills to deal with a conflict in a professional setting?
Yeah. So like Ayush mentioned, conflict happens at every workplace. It cannot be avoided. But conflict resolution, how do you deal with conflicts? I think the best way to deal with them is just open, honest, and genuine communication. And again, this is a great soft skill that you need to work on if you already aren't working on it. If you have, look, after conflict happens, when a conflict is happening, if you communicate with that other person honestly, if you're open, if you're genuine, feel free to say you're upset, you're disappointed, you're hurt. Don't, because if you keep these feelings to yourself, you're basically festering negative emotions. You are not being open, you're not being genuine, you're not being honest, and that will never resolve. That you will never be able to resolve that conflict. Maybe you'll just push it under the rug or push it under the carpet, but you're not solving it. You're delaying it for some time, and when that delay gets over, when that conflict again comes back, it will come back with much greater force. So if you want to handle conflict resolution properly, start communicating well, start communicating honestly and genuinely. Hamidu has a question which is basically the same: how to deal with conflicting opinions. I would say first, listen. Okay. Again, and this also ties in with the last question, which is how can I improve my active listening skills? Active listening, conflict resolution, empathy, communication, they all come together. So Hamidu, what I like to tell a lot of people is you've got 2 ears, but only one mouth. So this means listen twice as much as you speak. Let others speak, talk, listen to them, and don't just passively listen. There's the difference between passive listening and active listening. So passive listening is where you pretend to listen, where there's no emotion, where there's no action from you, there's no understanding. But active listening is where you actually are taking action. Maybe you're just nodding, or you can just be like, yeah, true, or yes, whatever, something of that sort. Actively listening, you've got to listen twice as much as you actually speak. With conflicting opinions, it is important to actually first let the other person speak and finish what they have to say, and then you speak. Because if you try to butt in between, if you try to cut them in midway through conversation, they might get upset, they might get a bit disappointed or angry. So, have that empathy, to actually listen to someone else. And empathy, again, this is something that you can develop through practice. Empathy, communication, I think these are great ways to handle conflicts and handle conflicting opinions in the workplace, or even just in general life.
Amazing. And in terms of listening, it like in remote environments, it happens that a distraction just, I guess, like goes to our phone or goes to that email notification.
Yes.
A thing that has helped me is, especially if I know that my attention has wavered, it's always useful to rather than assume something what the other person said, just to clarify with them, and maybe repeat what they said and ask if that's what they meant. And if not, they can clarify with you at the same time, instead of you doing something else and then what was expected for, and then mismatch in communication.
100%. Communication is difficult in remote environments, but like Ayush mentioned, just clarify. Things don't, our language does not easily translate into text. Voice is different because there's body language, there's tone, there's modality, but all of that cannot be converted into text. So of course, clarify and never assume things. Sorry, Ayush, you were saying something.
No, that was a great way to wrap up the listening point. Now, I was just saying that wraps up all our questions. So maybe you'd like to wrap up the session.
Yep, sure. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. At one point, I saw more than 100 people in this room. Thank you so much for being here. Entry Level and our team, which is Hex, we'll be in touch with you after the webinar with offer details, with emails. We'll send you all these links. So if you haven't noted them down, don't worry. If you haven't taken screenshots, don't worry. We will send you an email as a recap. But thank you so much for joining. And we really hope that, we can help you on this journey of investing in yourself, of improving, of exceeding your talent potential, of just going to do amazing things. So thank you so much for being here, and yep, that's a wrap.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ashwin. And in case anyone has any questions for entry level for any of the programs, if you're enrolled in, or if you have any questions about enrolling in any of the future programs, feel free to email us at support@entrylevel.net, and someone from also reach out to me personally at ayush.entrylevel.net if you have any program specific questions. Yeah, and we'll send you more details about all the, it gives me a, Zoom's giving me a
Which Ayush is the one stuck, yeah, not us. Okay. I still see Ayush here.
I'm back. Sorry, my Zoom crashed and
Uh,
set everything up. No worries. I think what I was saying is that you'll get everything